called accounts an elected member to order.
Not when you haven't gone through the chair, there's not.
In standing orders, you cannot remove an elected member without a process.
We'll just get some.
We've been elected to these positions to represent the voices of our constituents. And if we were muted, it should have been recorded when and on what topics we were muted. I believe that is what Councillor Jones is saying. It's as if there are times when Rick left the room because of a conflict. No, we're here to be heard. So Councillor Jones is asking for the minutes to be corrected, to be a true and accurate record of the meeting. I'm assuming, I know I was muted during the Regional Rescue Services item, and I would like that recorded. I don't know whether or not I was muted again, how many times we were muted. We're the only two councillors muted during that meeting on numerous occasions, and we don't even know when and for how long we're excluded from.
Okay, well, I dare say we'll look into the muting from the online option and maybe making a change to the minutes.
The minutes must be a true and accurate record.
Chair, could I just comment on a few things? So I think this matter has been discussed at length offline. I think even the CEO provided some advice about how many times people were muted, and even gave standing orders advice that the chair does have the right to do that in circumstances. And one is that if the chair deems the behaviour of members using the link warrants termination, he didn't terminate, he kept the link on, but he did mute. And the termination can be including the style, degree and extent of interaction between members. It doesn't have to be a procedural matter. And also, I guess if you refer to Standing Order 28.2, I'd happily correct the minutes if you can tell me where under A to R that actually says I need to record muting. That's the matters to be recorded in the minutes.
Well, for the fairness, for our constituents who elected us to speak at this meeting, I believe they would like to know at what points we were muted and at what points we were allowed to speak again.
Okay, well, I believe as chair that we don't need to go to that extent. You've been
What's the point of order, Chair?
Oh, hold on. Who said that?
Marty.
Marty.
Well, what are you pointing an order on?
Yeah, your point of order, Chair. It's we're
Marty? What? Marty?
Chair.
No. What point of order are you bringing up?
The fact that we're holding up the meeting, and that I think it should be workshop from member behaviour. I think we should be addressing it in a workshop. There have been a lot of times of interruptions, speaking over the top, and I think we have to address that in the matters that we're addressing at the moment. I think it should be put to a workshop rather than continuing discussion in this meeting. Order.
Okay, well, as chair, I think we've responded well and truly to both Peter Lucas' request and Tui Shortland, and we spent money on the report.
Point. Actually, I was just clarifying what.
Well, we don't have to report it.
Councillor Jones said. I have my own issues to raise, Chair.
Are they about the minutes of the meeting?
Yes, I seconded the motion.
Okay, all right.
I will just scroll through to the page in case councillors are looking for it. Rick. Page 8. Chair's report. The chair reported on numerous meetings that they have had, but omitted some of the correspondence that you've had with ministers. On the 19th of September, you forwarded an email from me to Grant McCallum at 6:17 p.m. stating, "This is what I'm dealing with around freshwater. Read the thread from the bottom." Is the correspondence to a minister is not included in
He's not a
your
minister.
correspondence?
Grant McCallum, not a minister.
Members of Parliament. You also wrote to Mark Cameron on the 19th of September, where again you forwarded my email to Parliament, and that's breach of the code of conduct. I believe that your correspondence to these people should be recorded, and if it hasn't been recorded, if not, why not?
Okay, Tui, this is not part of the discussion around the minutes, please. Can you stick
Your
to the-
correspondence is included in the minutes of the meeting.
Sorry, I don't agree.
That's not a true and accurate record of your correspondence, Chair.
If I forward any emails onto somebody else, it doesn't mean that that's a communication issue.
It's 5.5 of the code.
I'm sorry, I disagree, but this, hey, we're confirming the minutes of the meeting. I'm gonna have to stop you there and we can move on, please. Okay, so all in favour of the minutes of the meeting be received?
Aye.
Against?
I'm going to abstain.
I'm
Okay.
against them because they do not accurately reflect what occurred. Rulings are decisions. And
Okay,
whilst-
Peter Lucas, you know, you're not to talk anymore, please. We've moved the minutes of the meeting. So we're going to move on to the receipt of the action sheet, page 18, item 5.2. Do I have a mover? Receipt of the action sheet?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
move.
Jack and Joe. Okay. Any discussion around this? I'd like to bring to the attention, most of the stuff has been completed. No discussion?
Just, Oriel's not here, is she?
No.
So we're having our T30, is it scholarship meeting, aren't we, in December?
That's correct.
Good, so that's all sorted. Do you know how many are coming? Can we find out?
I can find out. I don't know. I'm Kathy. May know.
Do you know, Kathy?
I might be able to check for you.
I just wondered, it's really important to meet them, and I've had a few inquiries for the scholarship for next year, so.
Can I let you know
Yep, that'd be great, thanks. Thank you for following that up. It's a good result. Looking forward.
All in favour? Aye. Against?
Kapai.
Okay. Page
21.
financial report 21. Okay.
Jim.
Move it back. Do we have a seconder for that? We've got John. Okay, so we've got two items here. Recommendations, so that the report from Tapa Skipworth, financial accountant, dated 12th of November 2024 be received, and that the monthly profile of the 24-25 adopted original budget is updated to reflect the timing of the council's current work programs and the use of the council's financial reporting for November 2024. Through to its review date on the 30th of June 2025, at which time the financial reporting framework will be reviewed. Discussion, please. May discussion, Bruce?
Chair, I'd just like to note that this is the same report that went to audit, risk and finance on Monday last week.
Yes.
So, and that second recommendation came through that committee.
Okay, we've got Simon and Tucker in the room. So any questions? No? All in favour?
Aye.
Against?
Good report, Simon.
Up, Simon.
I'm in support of the motion. Kia ora.
Okay, page 27, we have updated elected members' expenses and allowances policy, item 7.1. Report from Chris Taylor. Two recommendations here. Do I have a mover and a second?
Happy to move it.
Okay, Amy.
Happy to second it.
Okay, John. Okay, Amy, you got
We missed an item, Chair.
Don't think so.
no? Page 27.
28.
Yeah.
John 21.
Yeah, no, I just wondered whether we'd done 6.1.
Yep, we just did 6.1.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just turning
No.
away from the table a minute. No, didn't we have to resolve the acceptance of the,
Okay, we're on to
the adopted budget being displayed?
not yet.
We did both together.
We did both. We took both.
All good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. So page 27, Joe, item 7.1.
28, we're 28.
Oh, 28, I've got 26 on my page, yes, sorry.
Yeah. All good.
All right, so we've got Amy and John. So Amy, you got anything?
No, just that it's another little refinement, but yeah, happy to just move these.
Okay, John?
I'm the same. Yeah, happy to move it.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favour?
Aye.
Against? Okay, passed. Okay, go to page 46. Item 7.2, which is adoption of the feedback submission policy consultant in accordance with Local Government Act 2002. We got the report from Samuel Van Holt, corporate analysis. We got anybody in the room for that?
We've got Sandy and Kyla.
Okay, Kyla. Excellent. We've got two recommendations. Do I have a mover and a seconder for the two recommendations?
Yeah, I'm happy to move.
Okay, Jack,
I'm happy to second that.
Naomi. Okay, open for discussion. So Jack, you got anything you'd like?
Oh, I'd just like to congratulate the staff on putting all this work in. It looks pretty good. I've been through it in detail. I like it. Thank you. I've got nothing else to say.
Okay. We have got the best team in the country still. Okay.
Well, we're just basically adapting to changes in legislation as much as anything else. Thank you.
Okay. Amy?
Yeah, no, nothing from me. Just thanks. It's good to have it updated. Appreciate the work done.
Excellent team. Okay, all in favour?
Aye.
Against? That passed. Okay, the investment committee 5.1. Okay, the report from Bruce Howes. We got 6 recommendations.
Well, I'll move 1 and 2, Chair.
1 and 2. Do I have a mover?
59.
Sorry.
Do I have? Yep, that's
I
right.
can
Sorry.
second those.
Okay.
One and two.
Okay, 1 and 2. So we got Rick and Amy.
Actually, you can move 1, 2, 4, 5 and 6. Can't we move those together?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I'm happy to
Okay.
do all of those.
Okay, any discussion around, Rick, you want to talk about those?
No, we've had this we've workshopped this, had this discussion. I'm very, very keen to see investment committee back separated from audit and risk. So I'm very supportive of this and happy to move on with it.
All right. Okay, Amy?
No, similar, just that this aligns us with our more proactive approach to our investments. And so, yeah, this is the first step in getting us moving forward. So looking forward to it being established.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all in favour?
Aye.
Right.
Against? Okay, so we've moved 1, 2, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, we go to item 3. The council appoints. We need 3 councillors. We've already got a Tangata advisor, which is George Riley, as a member of the investment committee. So can we have names, please?
So can I just clear up this, Chair? So we got 3 councillors and the chair's ex officio as well. So we'll have 4.
So 4 on.
I'm happy to move. I'm happy to be a mover because I don't expect myself to be one of those members.
And I'll second it.
Oh, cool. Yep.
Okay, so we've got a mover and a seconder.
So the 3 names, please.
Well,
We haven't got 3 names.
I'm willing to put forward one name, so I'd like to put forward Councillor Stillwork to be one of those members.
well, I'd like to put John forward. And
I'm happy to put forward Jack.
Those 3 councillors happy for their names to be put forward?
any discussion around that?
Yeah, I think we've got a committee that's very much a Pongaray committee, and I think it should be a councillor from each of the 3 district council areas of Northland. Going to talk against any one particular one of the 3 people that have been put in. It's pretty important.
Any other discussion, please? All right. Okay, well, we've got got three names up, so all in favour?
Right.
Against? Against, Joe? Okay.
Yeah, I'm against too on matters of exclusion of the far north and the
Okay, can we have a show of hands, please?
So
What about Marty? Can you see Marty?
Marty's offline, so then we have Peter Lucas and Joe against.
Me. I'm not supportive of that.
Is Marty on that one?
He's not on.
He's not on.
Yeah, you there, Chair. Sorry, I've had a little bit of difficulty here. Yeah, I tend to agree with Joe that I'd like to see someone from the Far North District on the committee.
Okay, so we've got 4 against and 5 for. Okay,
Okay.
carried.
so carried. So we've got Rick, John, Jack. Okay, we're going to move on to fire security annual report. Don McKenzie, page 72.
I'll move, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Okay, so Jack,
All of them?
Jack and Amy, you going to take all 3 together?
4, is it?
3.
Oh, no.
No, you have two.
Four, it's actually 2 4 and
Oh, 2 1s, yeah.
Yeah, we're going 7.4.
we're number 1 in a lot of areas.
No, there is 4.
You're on to it.
So we've got 3 recommendations here from fire security. Don?
So we're only
Four recommendations.
Oh, sorry, it's one.
one in disguise.
Oh, one of those guys. Okay.
1.1.
Sorry, a little bit.
No, it's not your fault.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So, Jack.
Yeah, I've been through it for a number of times, cleaned up a few typos, and that, look, I think it's a report to be proud of. None of the results go from good through excellent to outstanding. If you have a look at particularly at some of the work we've done with working with communities, working with iwi kapu, and particularly our work in the marine space, they're absolutely outstanding this year. There's been a huge amount of challenges with calliope and gold clam and a lot of other distractions, the threat of avian flu. I think our incursion response has been great, particularly the deer program is going absolutely wonderfully. And I think it showed that the team's been very nimble and we've come in under budget. We've also been good at picking up money from the government, and in this climate, that's hard to do. So well done, team. And what else can I say? I actually made some notes, but that'll probably do us. I think we've done pretty well. Obviously, we've got a lot on our plates this year, coming year with the development and notification of the planned regional pest management plan review. I will say that the one area that we didn't hit all our marks was in the exclusion and eradication weeds, pest plants, and the major reason for that appears to be the great proliferation of new sites of two plants in particular. Our staff are looking at over 1,000 sites of plants that they have to eradicate. That's probably unsustainable. So we're going to have to be reviewing, and I don't like to use the word rationalising, but that we may have to do that, rationalise our effort in light of greater priorities. So yeah, I heartily recommend the report. Thank you.
Okay, Jack, just a question. So do you gather that you'll sit down with the team and have this solid discussion and come with a plan about some of these pest plants?
Oh, absolutely. The review period, we're going to be addressing that in February at our first meeting of the working party, and that'll only be the first round of it. We really want to know how, with regard to those pest plants, we really need to know how many sites, how much effort is required, how many staff does that mean, and what do we do? You know, how do we become more effective, more efficient, or how do we actually reduce the workload, or do we need more staff, or do we need another way of looking at things? So there's a lot of balls in the air regarding that territory. But yes, Mr. Chairman.
So that'll be a goal for the new year.
Absolutely.
Just to identify that. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Yeah, similar vein to Jack, I guess. Just want to acknowledge the team, all the amazing work done. I think as a councillor, our biosecurity workers, some of the, we get the most mileage out of it because it's really embedded in our communities. So just want to really acknowledge the relationships that the team build through this mihi, and that quite often opens the door for more work for NRC to do with our communities. Yeah, I think we should be super proud of what we've achieved, and as Jack said, there's plenty more threats coming our way constantly. So yeah, we're lucky to have a really high performing team, and they're going to continue to need to perform well, and we really rely on those volunteers and our community partnerships. And I think Rick knows the numbers better than me, but I think for every dollar that we spend, we get several dollars worth of value.
More than, yeah.
$10. I don't know. I'm speculating,
Yep.
but it's real. It's an amazingly efficient investment in getting work done because of the way that we work with communities. So yeah, really proud of it. And yeah, thank you. So pass on our thanks, please, Don.
I think the worst part of this job is knowing all the stuff that's coming.
Seeing the
Sleep-
list.
Just about sleepless
Coming
nights.
list.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, any other discussion? Yes, John?
Yeah, I commend the report, but I'm also a farmer and realise what's happened in the past with Northern. As we seem to get a lot of tropical problems coming our way, we don't see that much coming from South Island. But Taileria was one that we had in 1987, and we got it in Northern. It wasn't that well known. Cattle died. It wasn't until it hit the Waikato that real money was spent. So what I'm saying is that if you put your money in the north to try and stop these things, like this new ragwort plant we've found, it will secure the rest of the country. So that's probably for Jeff when he sees Andrew and co in Parliament. Northland is really the area that we tested on weeds. Maybe Kalupa. Be anything. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Just one thing I think, Don, I wouldn't mind you saying is just, I haven't shared it with the group yet, is that you've got your case study, business case on Kalupa is ready. That should back up probably on this. If you just like to have a little verbalise it a bit.
Yes, sure. Yeah. We have been working closely with Ngāti Porou and a collective of regional councils from around the country on what we're calling a business case, a better business case for Kalupa, because everyone understands that it will take significant funding into the future to try and, battle this new marine pest. That business case has been progressing. We expect to see a final copy mid-December, where we hope to, the group hopes to be able to present that to government. Details of that will emerge throughout December, and we're hoping that funding would become available next financial year. So it is something that concerns not just our region, of course, but really all those northern regions affected by Kalupa at the moment. So that's been something underway. In respect of the report through you, Mr. Chair, I am immensely proud of what the staff have been able to produce this year, but I also want to acknowledge Council's investment. We, Council, through it being a trusted partner, earned more than $5 million towards efforts in Northland over the last year, which is hugely significant. And our work is greatly boosted by the talent that's in the comms department here in the organisation. They've put together a lot of our work with events, also our policy team to developing our review of our regional pest management plan. So the organisation as a whole, I think, deserves a big shout out to the group's strengths and that they lie. We've tried to build more collaborations with hapu and our iwi hapu whānau stakeholders. That's been growing as we learn more. So Tākia and the policies of the council have supported, have got us there. And I'd just like to add that to the reports that have been done. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Just in putting this business case together, Don, can just outline who was involved in getting it, because we all put money in.
Yes, the business case, we funded the consultancy Green and Jenkins. We were one of 4 regional councils to do that. So the other collaborating councils are Auckland Council, Waikato, Bay of Plenty, and Ngāti Porou iwi leading that in Auckland, and they represent, and also a collective of I think it's 5 other iwi collaborators in the Auckland area. So it has really been an initiative led by Ngāti Porou. We're in support of that, and it's been going very, very well.
Excellent. Okay, well done. Okay, any other discussion on this point?
Look, I just want to say on behalf of the community groups, Don, that look, they love NRC, and they appreciate the staff, you know, who tirelessly give the advice and time as well. So they're very well appreciated, and you know, just an integral part of this. And like Amy said, it's these hours don't really tell the story. They're the hours recorded, but you know, when you look at weed action, there's way more than 7,000 weed action volunteers. He triple easy. It's just not recorded. So we do want to thank that on to the staff. So brilliant.
Excellent. Okay, thanks, Don. Thanks, team. Okay, all in favour?
Aye.
Aye. Against?
I'm just going to ask a very quick question, Chair.
Yeah.
Kalupa, is there any natural control mechanism anywhere in the world for it?
Short answer is no. However, in saying that, recent reports, very, very recent reports, it's a phenomenon of apparent sort of reduction in some Kalupa patches on Aotea. We've yet to understand more. MPI are doing some studies, but it looks like in some areas, some patches are have reduced in size, which is interesting, and you don't know why.
Thank you.
So I think, Don, correct, we should be announced that our contract this month for Kalupa.
We're working with MPI on a contract this month, yes. And
date to be announced, do you think?
Fingers crossed that would be, you know, early December.
Early December.
Yeah.
Okay, it's dragged on a lot. Okay. Okay, Joe, we're just all in favour?
Aye.
Against?
I'm in favour. Kia ora.
All right, and they just go to the next one, additional budget to be taken from biosecurity incursions on page,
I'm happy to move that. 198. I'll move both recommendations.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, Rick. Okay, Jack,
I'll ask the question.
taking both together?
Yep.
Yep, we've workshopped this, so Rick,
No problem. Just
Jack?
Yeah, look, thank you for this. This item was probably written before our meeting with the minister last week. Would that be true, Don? Must have been. Yeah. So in the spirit of trying to be as nimble as we can, I guess we all know that we're going to be applying for a controlled area notice for bits of Northland, by at least one bit of Northland, perhaps more bits, we don't know. So my question to you is this additional 50 going to be enough? And if not, should we adjust it upwards, or should we leave ourselves the ability to come back for more money early in the new year if we need it?
Through you, Mr. Chair. For now, and given how close we are to really the start of the season at Taharoa and Kaiwi Lakes, which usually starts around the 20th of December, we have sufficient funds for that. It is a question of if we applied for a controlled area notice, where and what kind of regulation would be appropriate for that. And we wish to bring that back to council with some options around what to do in the short term. And with the minister's visit, as Councillor Craw has advised, there was this idea that MPI could impose a controlled area notice as an interim measure while we were under review of our own plan, and could do that. And so that really needs to be brought back to council, you know, at the next opportunity.
If it answers my question, it's likely that we're going to be asking for a can not to include Kaiwi, which the iwi and Hapu and the district council now are keen on, and we're keen on, but possibly Lake Ngātu, which is a very well-used lake, and maybe other water bodies. So I'm saying, in order for us to be nimble and keep ahead of the game, we don't want to be bringing in measures too late. We want to bring them in before we need them, before, so we can actually keep gold claim that, because we've only got one shot at this. So my question is, will you have enough money for us to roll out measures before Christmas to protect a number of lakes? You believe we will?
Well, without a can in place, yes.
No, with a can in place, I'm saying. With a can that says, because we're anticipating applying, what I'm doing is anticipating what we're almost certainly going to be doing, which is asking for a can, which means no no use by craft unless they've been treated. In other words, we have to have people there to do it, or else no craft at all. So that also requires inspections.
Well,
It's a lot of work.
I think through you, Mr. Chair, I think my advice would be to bring back those options to council for that kind of discussion, because insisting on cleaning in the Waikato, for example, means that there is a cleaning facility available, which we haven't got at the moment. So we'd like to discuss those kinds of options and what sort of regulation would add value at this point, given that we haven't got any washdown facilities available at these places or close to them. And the cost of inspecting perhaps trailers and every watercraft that entered there might be quite high. We don't know. So those are the sorts of considerations that need to be made. We could have a can in place which sends a signal for people to check and clean their equipment, and the services that we will provide at Taharoa and Kaiwi Lakes will mean that that message can be reinforced. As an interim measure, that would be seen as an icebreaker to much stricter regulation coming in the following year with the review of our regional business. So it is tricky to think of, well, what regulation would be wanted in that site, and what regulation could we practically impose given the time that's left prior to Christmas now.
Well, we've got plenty applied for a can and got a can. I mean, I don't anticipate MPI being the holdup. I anticipate the problem being that we haven't decided what we want.
Yeah, look, I think it's just about worth another governance meeting or a workshop, Don. When you come back with a plan with what you were just talking about there, and then bring it back to us prior to Christmas about what you expect to happen and how much money's involved.
I agree. That has to be well before the 10th of December, or the next meeting, and next council meeting, so we can have.
How much time do you think?
Put up to that meeting.
Well, I've asked staff to consider this proposal this week, so they're drafting up what they think is a reasonable option for us to undertake, given our current capacity and current resourcing, and the activities that are currently planned with iwi and hapu. I would like to add as well that consultation is important when you impose such a thing like this. So beyond Taharoa, there's been no further consultation about what the possibility of a controlled area notice around lakes like Lake Ngātu would look like at the moment. We need that direction from council. So we'd like to bring it back to a workshop if that's possible.
Okay, Joe, and then Peter Lucas.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Look, I'm gravely concerned that all this will be too vain. Too vain, because in particular, Australian black swan are going to, as that lady from Auckland Council said, that they are probably the biggest vector we've got in their plumage. That the microscopic organism can survive for 40 days out of the water. Okay, and the black swan are administered by Fish and Game Incorporated Society. Fish and Game got a lot of information. They do population counts. They understand the migration of these particular birds and other birds, and I'm concerned that there nowhere have I heard of any discussion to ask them for what information they've got on the expected anticipated movement of the swan. And we could spend a fortune here, and we get up thousands of them dropping into Lake Marpri, the actual Ven Lakes down in Koutou that have got no farming and forestry around them, have had collapse through nutrition being introduced into the water by, I suspect, bird fowl, droppings. We want to understand what this mechanism is, and we want to say to Fish and Game, we want you to help us front up with addressing this biggest risk that we've got to bringing the gold plan to Northland. And I'd like this meeting to give some direction to staff so that they embark on this process. Just to repeat it, we want to know the migratory numbers and the actual routes taken, and the timelines taken for black swan to potentially bring gold clam into Northland and where it's likely to appear.
Okay. Yeah. Is that okay, Don? You write to them?
We can inquire with Fish and Game as to what data they've got.
Yeah. If they've got any.
Bring that back.
Can that be?
Yep.
A
direction.
General direction that I've asked for to be recorded in the minutes, just in very brief general terms, because I want to keep watch on this one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Peter Lucas.
In terms of like the dune lakes in the very far north, I think it'll be important to link in closely with the iwi partners in the far north. I did hear Jack mention the Lake Ngātu. There's also the other smaller lakes, you know, taking into account the risk that Joe raises to our attention, that are scattered on the way north, even to Lake Wahakari. And those two are probably the most used for any sort of vessels, Lake Wahakari, and also Lake Ngātu. I'm mindful, however, some of them are surrounded by Māori land, so it requires some navigation of relationships and ensuring that everyone buys into, I guess, the solution. Has there been any indication from any of the iwi partners that they are keen to participate in perhaps a shared project that's led by council and the iwi partners?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Last season, they were very, very supportive of the publicity material, Ngāi Takatau, and Ngāi Takatau working with members of the staff too on things like fish removal in other lakes. And so generally very supportive, but at that point there wasn't formal regulation imposed that would prevent, say, vehicles or access to the lakes. And so a formal regulation like a controlled area notice, would impose rules, and it just depends what those rules would be. You know, that's, I think, the key to this, deciding what level of regulation you want where. And that's a discussion that I think we need to still have with them all.
All right, any other discussion? Marty. Marty?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Just trying to navigate my controls here. If we don't have a can, how can we prevent people coming from Lake Karapiro or Waikato, is question number one, to prevent them from coming into any of our pristine lakes? The second question I have is in understanding that there's only a localized area of the clam in the Waikato River, can we assume that the swans are unlikely to be a vector, or is there a study to sort of rule that out or rule that in? Kia ora.
On your first question, Marty, in the Waikato, there is a regulation that insists on people cleaning their gear and equipment before they enter any other lake system in that area, or as they leave that area. But there is nothing physically stopping those people travelling to Northland with their equipment once cleaned and, you know, coming into Northland and using our lakes. The second question about black swan, we can ask the question of Fish and Game if there are other studies related to this particular, you know, gold plan, but we don't know of any at the moment, not specific studies. It would be something to determine whether those birds from the Waikato even transfer with the populations up here. It's doubtful, but we need to ask those questions of Fish and Game.
Yeah, just as a follow-up then, I think there is a sense of urgency. Christmas is going to be upon us in no time, and there'll be boats moving north before that. Can we, in the can down in Waikato, will that enable us to ensure that all boats that come out of the Waikato are cleaned before they hit the road?
That would be the argument of some people, that all risk is taken care of, therefore we should not have to do anything because the regulation down there prevents the transfer. And the evidence for that is actually pretty good at the moment. You don't see gold claim in every waterway. However, it has spread into a small catchment near water holding body near Lake Taupo. And so we believe that the risk is ever present and it could be transported in pumps and machinery and other things. So the regulation down there in itself, we're saying is not enough, and we're taking precautionary and proactive measures in Northland.
Thanks for that. Just one follow-up and final one is to also bring that awareness that it could be in wet swimming togs or towels or whatever, where that signage would be best placed is over to you, I suppose, but probably at the entrance of each of the lakes, our sensitive lakes. Kia ora, that's all I have. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, Amy, you got your hand up?
Yeah.
Jack?
Thank you, Don, for answering all of our questions, and you can see that we've got a lot to say about this. I just really want to reinforce from my perspective, this summer is crucial, and so I think I understand the rationale that we would kind of do a holdover because of the timing and because we're not ready with our own plan with clams in it. But I think there's so much to lose that, in my opinion, we should throw everything at it this summer. And as far as I'm aware, the work that's happening down in the Waikato, there's a very low level of compliance and enforcement. So it's mostly education and advocacy and encouraging people to clean their vessels after they leave those affected areas. So I think I'll be really keen for us to write a letter to the Waikato Regional Council from our chair to reinforce the importance of that containment work that they're doing, because that is, you know, that's the heartbeat of the issue right now. And I guess I just want to alert you to the fact that I would really like to see us, in terms of a can in place this summer, and I'm keen for it to be effective. So I don't believe that cleaning things on site is going to be adequate. And so I'm much more along, I'm looking forward to getting the staff report, but I'm much more along the lines of we keep vessels out, because if they get introduced this summer, we have to close the lakes anyway. So we're better off to close them, protect them, and then move forward in a really well organised way once we're a bit more prepared, and that gives us a whole winter to prepare for the following summer. And I think the key thing is, you know, Head Lucas spoke to the importance of partnership here. We need to make sure that our partners at Kaiwi and at some of our busiest lakes in the far north truly understand the threat, because I think once you understand the threat, you believe that the preventative measures need to be massive. And so while we're talking about preparing a proposal that we feel is feasible, I think if we have a real conversation with our tangata whenua partners and our local communities about what the risk is, I think the public will want us to do this. That's my belief. So I think we've got a responsibility here to make sure people understand the risk that is coming from the Waikato, how hard it is to manage in terms of cleaning your boats. Check, clean, dry is not adequate at this stage, especially when we don't have any wash stations that can do the method that is needed here in Northland. Yeah, so I'm going to be advocating really strongly for us to come out hard on this, and partially that's because I love Dune Lakes, and I just think this is the impact of the arrival of the clams is intergenerational in terms of the environmental effects. So I think we should go hard this summer and then regroup and make a long-term plan from here. But I look forward to hearing from the team. Just wanted to put that on the table, that's the kind of, I'd like that to be one of our options that we can talk about. And also, yeah, so I think we need a workshop and we might need an extraordinary meeting. I'm going to put that on the table too, because I don't want to wait till December and then MPI, you know, everyone's out to lunch by mid-December. So, yeah, I want to see this rolling in the next couple of weeks.
So in saying that, then we better invite Kaipara to this meeting, because we don't want to have that delay of going backwards and forwards. Would you invite them to sit in the room and have
Whatever it takes. I mean, I think procedurally, if we can get MPI to put in place a can, yeah, I don't know. We have to workshop it, but I think.
Because, you know, I talked to Craig Jepson yesterday,
Yeah.
which I shared. He had an appetite
Yeah.
for the gold clam, which has
Yeah.
changed his thinking from 2 months ago.
Yeah.
You might want to involve Far North District Council members as well, I believe. But I'm with Amy. I mean, the only difference with me is I believe that maybe we can decontaminate vessels. You say it's too high a risk. If you're right, then I'm on you 100%. I'm not all over the data, the actual reliability of decontamination. I've been told that salt water works pretty well, and if it does that, it would be great. But let's get the report. And so we need to have a workshop next week. And that's going to not only deal with what the can's going to look like, because we're going to be requesting one, and where it's going to be, but also we'd like you to let us know how much extra money you think we're going to need to make that work. Thanks.
Okay. All right. John?
As a Kaipara councillor, lived there all my life, I understand the situation, and today I've dragged a boat over to get serviced. But I would support Amy 100% on this, because I believe if you do have to shut the lakes completely, probably better to get on it today, close it in boats, than wait another year. So, yeah, support Amy.
I definitely agree. If Amy starts, better off to close it while we don't have it than to close it once we've got it. Exactly. So, all right, that's a strong direction, John. You happy with the support on that?
Back those options.
So, yeah, okay. Okay, so let's just we're bringing back item 7.5. We've got mover Rick and Jack. So all in favour?
Aye.
Against? Okay. Oh, Marty, you still got your hand up? Sorry. We're on to the regional pest management, item 7.6. And we have got April in the room and Leon. So that's great. So we've got 3 recommendations here. Can I have a mover and a seconder?
Guess it's me again.
Three?
And I'm all over it. Yeah, thank you.
3, Jack?
Yeah. Yes, please.
I'll second it. Yeah. Okay, any discussion around this?
I'd like to thank the team for being really early, really quick off the mark, where we don't have to adopt this until, it doesn't have to be implemented until the 1st of July 2027, I believe. Is that the, yep, or an earlier date that we choose. So I'd like to thank the team for getting onto it early. I'd like to thank them for involving Te Rurangi members, working party members, and coming to bringing up the modifications plus the design, which I love. And I think it's got a nice look to it. And I've got nothing further to say. Remember, this is just the draft that's going to go out for consultation. Thank you. Yep.
Excellent. Would you like to speak to it, April? I know that both of you have turned into passionate people over this, going from your land management team. So if you've had any feedback you'd like to share with the council, share it now.
Through the chair, I think the timeline's been pretty crazy, but we're sticking through as much as we possibly can. But this just helps us give a bit of direction to our cost benefit analysis. The inclusion of so many new species is going to be a few busy months for us, for things that we can also talk to our pet shop owners and nurseries and just really give them a good heads up as to what we're planning, and also get some feedback from them as well around our proposed changes. Yeah, we just really want to do good engagement throughout this process, so nothing's a surprise to people later on. So that includes all our marina folk. Yeah.
Have you had any surprises? Like you've been going around these pet shops and plant places, like what you've seen? Everyone's pretty compliant?
Yeah. We've had some good feedback come through our online forms in support of banning palms. As long as we give people adequate time to stop germinating new ones.
Yes.
So yeah, as long as we're doing that, then they're actually quite supportive of it. The Madagascan, the ragwort come up a few times. A lot of suggestions around how do we get rid of it without having to hand pull it. So it's been a really good education for our community, I think, as well.
Still cool. You're talking to the converted, because I think Jack in his role one time tried to ban palms in Auckland. And he
Got away with one.
So, well, any other discussion around this? All right, all in favour?
Aye.
Against? Okay, pass. Well done. Thank you, both of you. Okay, revised terms of reference for Tautokere Maori. Oh no, then we've removed that from the agenda. Okay, we're on to 8.1, which is Chair's report. Can I have a mover? Okay, got Joe and John.
Cheers.
Any discussion by anybody there?
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
You've been very busy, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Yep. And you got my report from Thailand, so.
Yep.
Okay, all in favour?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, now the big report.
Question, Chair. Regarding the trip to Thailand, will we be working that up at all? I just wonder if there's any chance of sister city relationship with anybody in Thailand.
Okay, I'm going for a dinner on the 13th of November to meet the Foreign Minister and 20 delegates, and I'm just getting Paul Linton now to put a proposal for Northland together. So we're hoping just to build that relationship. They're coming to Waitangi week, and they promised me 2 days for us to show them around on potential investments. So yes, it is starting to grow, but it all takes time. Okay, we go to the Chair's report.
Question 2, please, regarding that, Mr. Chair. In terms of our investment pitch, it appeared quite broad, or we were articulating what industries were available for investment. What did we learn through you about their investment strategy and what their investment priorities are?
Okay, well, they haven't really hit the nail on the head. They like 5-star hotels, and a discussion with a big group there called the Banyan Group are looking to expand worldwide, and they see New Zealand as an option. And so I did that presentation on the Russell option. Green energy, they would like to be involved in more green energy plants. Solar, they see good expansion on supporting green energy options into New Zealand. Hence, one of the group that was over there was promoting solar energy called Super, which I've passed on to Louisa, which develops a battery system where a small community can feed off one solar unit. So they're really excited about that sort of stuff, and supporting their own communities, small communities in Thailand, to be more energy efficient. So yeah, some synergies there. Agriculture, we don't really align because most of it is rice and stuff like that. They have 800,000 cows. The biggest herd is about 100, so most of them are 3 to 4 cows, and they just supply the local market, which is just boiled milk and then sold at the local store.
Did they give any preference or articulate any preference around shared investment or investment leading in terms of the things that you've just talked about? Because I'd imagine they would need to partner with groups in the Sunbelt, perhaps, if they were looking at solar. And then, of course, looking at infrastructure and how feeding that onto the current infrastructure is also a bit of a challenge. But aligned with that and your idea about 5-star hotels, was there any suggestion from them that they were looking at Northland as a place for that sort of investment to occur, or was that in New Zealand in general?
Well, they hadn't considered New Zealand as an option until I did my presentation, and then I was approached by one of the senior management about what would it take and how does business happen in New Zealand. And I'm just hopeful that he's one of the 15 delegations that's coming down with the foreign minister. And I'm getting Paul to do a more in-depth proposal around options in Northland around the 5-star hotels on the back of that conversation. And we have his card, which we're emailing him as well. So that's going through Paul Linton. He's sort of in charge of that sort of stuff. My job is to make the contact. His job is to make it happen.
Okay. And I imagine that'll be in the statement of intent. Can I just, in closing, ask you, can we have a copy of your presentation that you gave on behalf of Northland Regional Council?
Sure, I'll email it to you. Yeah.
Is it yours or something that Northland Inc. prepared for you?
Northland Inc. prepared it for me.
Kia ora.
And I took out brochures from Murray McCully regarding the water storage dams. So I took 50 brochures to hand out at my presentation. We promoted land use change with horticulture. I only had 15 minutes to present everything, so everything was a bit of a, I wouldn't say a rush, and we had questions and answers, which actually where you get most of the conversation out, and then networking afterwards, people that wanted to come up and talk to you about options. So that was well received, but yeah, just see what unfolds really. It's
about the investment pitch and what actually was pitched. Kia ora.
Yep. Okay, so we're on to Jono's report, item 8.2.
I'll move, Chair.
Move it, Jono.
Happy to second that.
Second, John. Okay, open up for discussion. Joe, would like to start?
Yeah, no, I'll catch my notes, so I'll let someone else go.
Okay, John.
Okay.
I just draw attention to page 273. It talks about the era they had at Ruai modelling. So things are moving on for Ruai. Just need to point that out because it's been quite an issue for the Ruai residents.
Yes.
That's good to see. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussions? I see we've got a bit of a photo of the Kalupa underwater tractor there. That's the dredge will go on the front of that. That will be run remotely. Lots of good work, Don, going around the sea spurge. How's that progressing?
Well, it's progressing well. We have a funding committed by MPI, and Joe Barr's leading a plan for that, working with Hapu from Miti Marae in first instance, but also with Tote B, Tioni